Once upon a chilling October night, darkness enveloped the small town of Ravenswood. The wind howled through the trees like an ominous warning, and the moon hid behind a thick blanket of clouds, leaving the streets cloaked in shadows. Children whispered tales of the haunted house on Elm Street, daring each other to step foot inside its decrepit walls on Halloween night. Among these children was Sarah, a curious and adventurous 12-year-old girl with a fascination for the macabre. She had heard the tales of the haunted house, but dismissed them as mere rumors. Halloween arrived, and Sarah, along with her friends, Tommy and Emma, decided it was time to unravel the mysteries within. The clock struck midnight as they stood in front of the foreboding house. The old structure loomed, its windows resembling hollowed eye sockets, and the trees seemed to reach out like gnarled claws. Sarah hesitated but took a deep breath, bolstered by her friend's courage. They pushed open the creaking front door, its eerie groans echoing through the empty halls. As they explored the dimly lit interior, a chilling gust swept through the house, extinguishing their flashlights. The darkness consumed them, leaving only the sound of their racing hearts. Suddenly, a faint whisper reverberated from the depths of the house. "Get out!" it moaned, sending shivers down their spines. Ignoring the warning, they pressed on, the scent of decay and dampness filling the air. The floorboards creaked ominously beneath their feet, and the walls seemed to close in on them. They stumbled upon a room filled with dust-covered portraits, each face twisted in agony. One portrait caught Sarah's eye, an old woman with piercing eyes that seemed to follow her every move. The trio continued through the eerie house, descending into the basement where the temperature plummeted. In the flickering candlelight, they found an old, tattered diary. Sarah, unable to resist, began to read aloud. The diary told of a woman named Eleanor who had lived in the house decades ago, accused of witchcraft and condemned to a life of solitude in the basement. A sudden chill swept over the room, and the candle flames danced wildly. Shadows danced menacingly on the walls, and a cold breeze whispered, "You should have left." But it was too late. The diary had awakened an evil presence. The basement door slammed shut, trapping them inside. Panic consumed them as they heard the whispers grow louder and more malevolent. The walls seemed to close in, and strange symbols appeared, glowing ominously on the floor. A ghostly figure materialized, bearing Eleanor's tormented visage. "Leave this place," the ghostly figure hissed, its eyes ablaze with hatred. But the children were ensnared in a nightmarish reality, unable to escape the clutches of the vengeful spirit. The ghostly figure lunged at them, sending the children screaming in terror. They stumbled through the darkness, desperately searching for an exit. The house twisted and contorted, becoming a labyrinth designed to ensnare its victims. Sarah, Tommy, and Emma found themselves separated, lost within the twisted halls. As Sarah ventured deeper into the abyss, she encountered horrifying visions of her fears manifesting. The ghostly figure tormented her, feeding off her fear and growing stronger. She faced her fears, finding courage in the face of terror. Eventually, Sarah discovered a hidden chamber with a glowing talisman, the key to the spirit's imprisonment. She shattered the talisman, releasing a blinding light that consumed the malevolent entity. The house began to tremble and collapse, crumbling into dust. Sarah managed to escape the house just in time, reuniting with Tommy and Emma. The cursed dwelling was reduced to rubble, leaving only an empty lot in its wake. The town of Ravenswood was finally free from the clutches of the haunted house, but the memory of that terrifying night would forever haunt their dreams. Of course, let us delve deeper into the horrifying events that unfolded on that fateful Halloween night in Ravenswood. As the dust settled and the sun began to rise, Sarah, Tommy, and Emma stood in disbelief, gazing at the empty lot where the haunted house once stood. It was as if the house had never existed, leaving them to wonder if it was all just a terrible nightmare. But the remnants of fear in their eyes told a different story. Days passed, and the town tried to move on, attempting to forget the horror that had plagued them. However, strange occurrences started happening. Ominous whispers in the wind, objects moving on their own, and shadows that seemed to have a life of their own. The spirit of Eleanor had not been vanquished. It had merely been set free. Sarah, haunted by the memories, couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. She began researching the history of the haunted house, determined to uncover the truth and put an end to the malevolent force that still lurked in the shadows. Her research led her to the town's archives, where she discovered a dark secret. Eleanor, accused of witchcraft, was innocent. The real malevolent force was her accuser, a powerful sorcerer who had cursed the house and framed Eleanor to conceal his wicked deeds. Sarah realized that to put an end to the curse and free the town from Eleanor's vengeful spirit, they had to find the sorcerer's true name, the key to breaking the curse. Armed with this newfound knowledge, she enlisted the help of her friends, Tommy and Emma. Together, they embarked on a perilous journey to uncover the sorcerer's name. The trio delved into forgotten realms, seeking ancient tomes and consulting wise sages. Their path was fraught with danger, facing spectral apparitions and treacherous trials. Finally, they arrived at an ancient, desolate cemetery, a burial ground for powerful sorcerers of the past. As they ventured deeper, they discovered an ominous mausoleum hidden beneath a twisted tree. Inside, an inscription revealed the sorcerer's true name, Azeroth. With the name in hand, they raced back to the cursed land, invoking Azeroth's name and challenging the spirit of Eleanor. The ground trembled, the wind howled, and the ghostly figure appeared once more, but this time weaker and in torment. "Azeroth," Sarah called, her voice firm and resolute. "I release you from your curse, and I banish you from this realm." A blinding light enveloped the ghostly figure, and Eleanor's spirit was finally freed from the curse that had bound her. The spirit of Azeroth was banished to the depths of the netherworld, and peace was restored to Ravenswood. As the sun set on that Halloween night, the town celebrated their newfound freedom. The cursed land began to flourish, and the memory of the haunted house on Elm Street faded into legend. Sarah, Tommy, and Emma had faced their fears and triumphed, proving that even in the face of darkness, courage and friendship could conquer the greatest of terrors. And so, the legend of the haunted house on Elm Street became a tale of bravery, redemption, and the power of unity, a story retold by generations, reminding all that evil could be vanquished, even in the darkest of nights.